Thank you for having me here, brother.
Dude, yeah, I'm happy to have you. Are you settled in for the long haul? These are long recording sessions.
Let's do it.
You
That's why I got my Celsius.
well, you've got the Celsius. Do you need something stronger? Like, if you don't want to drink alcohol, that's okay. Do you need like
Are you drinking
in of a
anything?
Ziploc baggie?
Let's do it. Are you drinking anything?
Oh, Pedro, you know I am. You know I am. Oh, whiskey.
I don't think I can because right after this, I got 2 meetings.
Dude, when I do these recordings, I clear my schedule because I know.
How are you going to end up?
Yeah, by the end of this, when I did that recording with Jonathan, man,
I thought.
yeah, I was freaking cooked by that one.
He was thought. And you can tell when Little Johnny is out of him. So.
It was funny, but nah, man. So, dude, for the folks that don't know you, tell the folks a little bit about you. Introduce yourself. Do you like long walks on the beach?
Little.
What all do you want folks to know right off the bat?
Okay, first of all, I was born in Venezuela. My 8th grade, I wasn't a good student. I was like a B student. I was trailing a couple of classes, and I remember I was doing summer classes, and I told my mom, "Hey, mom, I want to go to United States with my sister. My sister lives here. She was living here at the time." And she said, "Okay, let's make a bet. If you ace or B plus, minimum B plus, all of these subjects next year, I'll send you with your sister." She knew it was an easy bet because I wasn't an A type student, but she made the bet. We shook on it, and the next year I was on a plane. I aced all my grades, my 9th grade, my freshman year, and I boarded the plane and I finished high school here in the States. Went back to Venezuela. That was from 98 to 2002. I did like a sabbatical year in Miami right after high school. Before one person, my sabbatical. By sabbatical, I mean that I partied a lot. And here in Miami, before going to college, went back to Venezuela and I did accounting. I didn't finish school. Things were getting really bad in Venezuela back in the early 2000s. By 2000,
It was getting like, and we don't get the most true news here in the U.S. You know that, but even what we were getting here was like, holy shit, it's popping off there.
It is. In 2004, I got shot. I was protesting against Chavez, which is the regime back then. I was in the streets protesting, and then all of a sudden I get this weird feeling that something hit me. I didn't know what it was. And then I hear all this scream from all the old ladies and all the people. "Hey, he got shot. I was like, okay, I guess it was me. Turns out it was me. It was a 9mm, 2 millimeters from my spine. So I'm lucky to be alive, and I'm lucky to be walking, actually. And I was super bad. I mean, you can see the scar tissues right there in my spine. So I was on an operation room the next morning. I got the bullet out and everything. It was fine. Awesome. So that was my 2004. Then I continued being very, very political. Then on college, doing meetings and everything, talking, public speaking and everything. 2006, 2 years later, I was walking to my car and in my student's parking lot. And 2 guys, masked, put guns on me and my girlfriend at the time and said, "Pedro, killing you is very easy. We know what you do. We know where you live and everything. But we're not going to do that. This is last warning. If you continue doing what you're doing, talking about Chavez, we're just going to start killing people around you, not you. Last warning." That was on a Wednesday. By Friday, again, on a plane back to the U.S. My mom's side of the family, they're from here. My dad, my grandpa actually escaped. My great grandpa escaped from the Holocaust from Germany. And my grandpa was born here in California. So mom's side of the family were already here. So I said, you know what? Killing me, if they kill me, hey, that's it. I'm not going to suffer anymore. But I can't take it if they start hurting my people. So that's when I decided to call it quits. And I came back.
Dude, that's so crazy. Man, I've got like 30 questions already. I get that. So we got to slow it down just a little bit here.
Okay.
Drinking that caffeine. You're drinking a stimulant and I'm drinking a suppressant.
I was
suppressant, but slow it down with me for a minute. So first question, and it's neither here nor there. It's not a racing or anything, just like kind of interesting point of fact. So was your great grandfather, he escaped the Holocaust. Was he Jewish at the time or? Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's quite the changeover from all the way over there to not just U.S., but obviously down into South America as well.
Yeah. It's weird. My last name, my mom's side of the family last name is one of a kind. So if I see that last name, it's
Goldstein?
Family. No, it's actually Katie, Kabe.
Okay. Dang, man. So, dude, do you know what's crazy to me? You're talking about all this, and I remember like watching in the news. But do you know what was also super popular back then amongst, certain crowds here? And I don't want to make this podcast political at all, but certain crowds here was people wearing, I remember the shirt. It was a black shirt. I don't know if you remember the old Bob Marley shirts, but it was a Cesar Chavez shirt, right? And it was kind of like that. It was like black with like red and yellow and green. And it was like, whatever the slogan was, I don't even remember, but dude, it was so popular. It's like, do you guys know what the fuck you're talking about?
I don't know.
So I don't know. I've never met somebody, frankly, I haven't met somebody personally who was like there in that during that, frankly, revolution, right?
Yep.
That was the whole time.
And it's still going on. But mind this, when I got shot, people were not dying at riots and stuff. It was just like rioting, but people were not dying.
Yeah, it's just a little Chavez act. He gets that out.
But that's what I'm saying. I was completely out of the blue. I mean, my case was extraordinary.
So it's not like the violence at that level was like a normal thing.
Correct. It was just like what happened here in 2020 and everything, those rioting, things like that. Black Lives Matter, kind of like that. But then fast forward 2012, then it was like 20, 30 people per day that were dying just by protesting and being on the streets and whatever. And now, I remember, I think it was 2013 or 14. It was in the hundreds, just like Ukraine. It was like in the hundreds dying per day. So, yeah, it was really bad. And people don't know this, but we are filthy rich country. Like, no, people think, oh, Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. We got more.
Think of Venezuela and the inflation that occurred and everything went to zero. But that's not the history of your nation,
No. And we are the country with the biggest oil reserve in the world, period. So you can combine US, Mexico, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai, and they're still all together. Y'all don't have as much oil as Venezuela had. So we could be walking on gold if we had a good government. It's a shame. So that's why back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was so easy to make money in Venezuela. So easy to make money because it was money everywhere.
Do you still have a lot of family down there?
That side of the family. My dad, I mean, he's still there, but he comes here like twice a year. Yeah. He's a professor. He's a university professor. So he just hang out with his philosophy friends and just hang out, just drink coffee and just talk
about buying term and investing, the difference.
More than likely. Yeah, I think maybe. I don't know. No, I don't think so. And yeah, but that's and we've asked, hey, Dad, what are you doing?
Hey, dude, how's life for them down there at this point?
On his side, he's pretty comfortable just because all of his sons and daughters are here. So whatever he needs, we'll provide. So he comes here. He just helped my sister. My sister lives in Texas. She has a couple of stores. She helps my sister in the stores, save some money, then go back to Venezuela and just live life for another 6 months and then come back.
Right. Well, shoot, dude. That's crazy. So you moved here and finished up high school.
Yep.
How was that? How, you kind of mentioned you were a shitty student in Venezuela until you got that bet and you're like, hey, I'm going to win that bet. Yeah. Then you got here. How was life when you got here? And, what kind of transpired at that point?
Dude, you know what's crazy? I was never good in math. But then I come here and it turns out that our, I guess, math system in Venezuela was a little bit more advanced than here. And I turned out to be and don't take it bad, but it's true. I mean, I got accolades and awards and everything in school and high school. But mind you, too, I was in a very small town in Texas, so it's not comparable. But again, then I was a very A-B student in Texas too. I was on a roll, stuff and everything, things that I never did, but I liked it. I was very picked on when people. I think it was Jonathan mentioned it one day that people, Pedro probably being bullied and everything. They just want to come. I was very much bullied in Texas. And you wouldn't think who I was bullied from. I was bullied from the Mexicans because I wasn't Mexican.
Oh,
I wasn't Mexican enough, so I hang.
You weren't Mexican at all. You're Venezuelan.
Exactly. I hung out with whites and blacks. So 6 months later, I was completely fluent in English just because I couldn't relate to the Mexicans. And that's how it happened. So yeah, it was crazy, dude. These guys and I play basketball and football, American football. And I remember my first 6 months in high school, I bought a bike and I used to ride my bike to school for like 6 months straight, twice or three times a week. Get out of school when I see a flat freaking tire, the back tire, not even the front that you can just pop wheelie, go take it, walk it home. The back one. So I had to carry my freaking bike for like 2 miles for like twice a week for like 6 months straight. So what it was a bad thing, it turned out that it was a good thing because I was exercising. So I was bulky 6 months into being in the US. And I grew when I came here, I was like 501. And then in like a year, I was back at 5'10, what's what I am right now. And I was bulky, I was backs and everything. So it was a good thing. They thought they were bullying me, but I took it in a good thing. So I was exercising every day.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. You weren't Mexican, and like, was there specific things that kind of like put you on the outs?
My Spanish.
Your Spanish sucks.
People
I've noticed that too.
People don't know this, but not all Mexicans. I'm talking about the ones in the north, and they speak a completely different Spanish. It's like Jamaican Spanish to you, but it's English, but it's not. I'm sorry, like Jamaican English. It's still English, but hey, they got different words. They speak very differently, different accent. Same thing happened to me. So I was struggling to understand them. So I said, why? If I have to learn a new language, because for me that was a new language, might as well speak English, learn English. And that's what I did.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. So then what about before that, what was your most memorable moment in high school? Did you have, like, you were picked on and bullied, but did you have some good times as well?
Yes. So memorable moment, I'm going to tell you this. First day of school, I was taken to the lady that was going to help pick the classes and everything that I was going to take. And I remember looking at my electives and I see French. Damn, I'm going to kill two birds, one stone. I'm going to learn English and French in the same year. But the one thing never clicked. The French classes was to translate French from English. I didn't know English. So for example, she was like, what means goodbye? I didn't know what goodbye was. So I remember
like, no, bitch, agua means water.
And I was like, dude, like 15 minutes of this is not going to work. So I don't know what she's talking in English. I don't know what she's going to translate to in French. So I don't think this is going to work. I just walked away. I remember that moment. Sitting down in my chair and looking, English, French. Can't do anything here. Let's walk away.
I'm done.
But
were you back to high school, or were you just kind of more focused on school and surviving the bullies and sports? And
what was the first part of the question?
Were you a ladies' man back in high school, or a man's man? I'm not judging.
No. Was not completely. Definitely not. No. I was trying to survive. It was my first year in school without my big brother. That was first thing that was pretty hard for me because my brother's 1 year older than me, and going to school every year, I knew that no matter what happens, I got my brother. So if someone was doing anything, was picking on me or whatever, I got my brother. So the first year here in school, it was my first year, new language, new country without my big brother. So that was my first reality hit. But not. Dude, I really truly enjoyed my time in high school. I made friends and I was playing sports. I truly enjoyed my time in high school. Past beyond the first year with Mexicans and everything. Then I got close to them, of course. But then I got close to the ones called Chicanos, which is the second generations Mexican. They speak more English than Spanish.
So what about after high school? What happened? Where'd you go after high school and
back to Venezuela?
Sabbatical, where you got herpes, and
then back to Venezuela.
So you don't get herpes.
I don't want to
Gladius, no pun intended.
I'm not gonna. I like that one. I'm gonna deny nor agree with that assessment. But no, I didn't get herpes. None of that.
I'm now required to notify every partner.
Sorry, Afide. I have a non-disclosure agreement. Can't talk about that.
Do you send that notice in French?
I said in Italian, actually. It sounds sexier in Italian than French. But dude, I went back to Venezuela and dude, I had a good time too in college. I'm not gonna deny. First 2 years, I think I didn't go to class 60% of the time. We just hang out at college and just take off.
And you still graduated?
I didn't.
Okay.
I always say I love school. The only thing that I don't like about school is that they actually teach in there. But I love going class. I love going to class and meet friends and everything. Yeah, it was a good time. But since I was a son of a professor, school was paid for. I didn't have to fight to get in school or and university. I was like a legacy kid.
And your dad, your father, he teaches philosophy?
History, universal history.
I thought you said philosophy.
Because that's all they do. They're all historians. They're all talking about everything in general. You cannot ask my dad a question. Well, he's going to straightforward give you an answer.
Dude, I love meeting people like that. When you're like, hey, you want to get some ice cream? And they're like, when the wind blows, does the daisy not dally?
Things like that. That's my dad. The dad, talk to me about the British Revolution. Well, before we talk about the British Revolution, let's talk about the French Revolution, how everything started. And then 2 hours later, okay, now we can jump into the British Revolution.
Do it in Spanish. I feel like you're going to capture your father just better if you do it in Spanish.
I can actually imitate my dad really good. And we have the same name and everything. So, yeah, I remember when his friends used to call home and I would just prank call him, just use my dad's voice and everything. And so I know what my dad would say in every situation. It's like, my dad is a great man.
So if people would call about the cable TV and he'd be like, before we get to the cable TV.
That's my dad. Don't ever ask my dad for a yes or no question.
That's awesome. My father's the same way. We call them lectures, but there was a story and a point to everything behind everything. And at this point, I'm grateful. And I also find, when I'm talking to my little boys, they're getting old enough they can talk back and their arguments make sense. And it's so frustrating. They'll be like, Dad, are you really going to talk for 10 minutes? I'm like, you're fucking right, I am. Okay?
That's my dad.
Put in 2 minutes of hard work to make you. And I've paid for your ass this whole time, and I haven't drowned you yet. And yeah,
2 minutes. I think you were done in dude, look at you. You were done in a minute and a half. Top,
Pedro.
Top.
This layer, it's installative. Cut down on the sensation.
Are you only child?
No. I'm one of 7, so I'm number 3 of 7.
Oh, so you're a sandwich.
I am. Well,
okay.
I feel like there's less suspect ways to say that, but yeah, I'm in the middle.
Well, you're in the middle. You're in the middle. You're the middle kid.
Was it just you and your sister then?
Oh, heck no. Dude, I have more siblings and brothers than I can count. No, I'm just messing with you. From my mom's side, I'm the last one. I'm the fourth one. On my dad, I'm the third out of 5.
So your mom and your dad
had 3.
Split family, right? Because you said, on your dad's side and then on your mom's side. Are you guys a split family, like some step siblings in there?
Yeah, not a step siblings, but like half brothers and sisters.
Okay, yeah.
But I count them. I don't use the word half. We're brothers.
Yeah, no, you're family through and through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after you got done partying, you got the chlamydia cured. You got shot in the back.
NDA. Remember, I signed an NDA. Can talk about.
So what happened after that? Like, what was young Pedro moving into the? Like, really I'm not going to say professional world, but like, hey, it's time to get a job, time to start growing up a little bit. You got to pay your own bills, that kind of thing.
Let's talk about insurance, because that's when insurance actually kicked in. Since my dad was a political guy, he was president of all the teachers back in Venezuela. One of his friends was trying to pay my dad some favors. And as soon as I got back from here, I got hired. He had a insurance brokerage. And I remember on a Friday, we were at a club, and he said, Pedro, Monday, see me, I'll get you some work. I'll get you a job. Okay. In Venezuela.
Okay.
That Monday, I got to the office. I said, I don't have a position open, but you're hired. So I was like the delivery guy. I was everything in that office. I was everything that you needed. You need a deposit, I'll take the money to the bank. If you need to pick up a policy from the carriers, I'll go and pick it up. Back in the day when everything was actually printed out and everything, I did that for like 2 months. Then I met everyone in all the carriers that we used. So I knew everyone in those offices, everyone in those buildings. I got very popular, so they gave me a shot for the first time. But my shot was, I was in charge of 2,500 members in that agency.
Right off the bat?
Right off the bat.
Damn, dude, you were thrown in the shit.
I was thrown, but I was 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. And for you to have an idea, I was making at 19 what you would consider here half or $750,000, because I just was in charge of 2,500 members. dude, I had so much money that I didn't know what to do with it.
But
Nothing. Party a lot.
how do
You shit with my love.
you do? Do you have the money now, or what'd you do with?
No.
What kind of illicit drugs?
I was 19, 20 years. I was like 19, 20 years old at the time. And you know what's crazy? I quit that job. And what's even crazier? I quit that job because I was heartbroken. This lady broke up with me, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to change my life. This is not what I want to do. And I put my 2 weeks notice. That was like 2003, 2004, like 2 years after I got back to this. But if I did this, I can make money easily. I thought it was that easy.
Every war between nations and in a man's own soul has been fought over money, God, or the love lost of a good woman or a bad woman. Either way, she's just a woman. My God.
Yes, brother. And I did that. I changed a 1-year relationship for 2 years of begging. I begged her to come back like 2 years.
You're the prize. We got to rescue you real quick.
I don't know. That was Pedro 20 years ago, not now.
Okay.
But it was definitely before and after. She was my before and after, for sure. Then after that, I was like, okay. 2 years later, I came here, and again, I was paying my dues. I was working as a delivery guy on a Friday. What were you
delivering?
Sushi.
Sushi?
I was delivering sushi.
Okay.
So I get this big order to an office. I knock on the door. The manager of the office opens the door. Says, hey, you're bilingual. I'm not going to lie. You're good looking. What are you doing deliveries?
He wanted to fuck you, dude. You're not good looking.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. He passed away 14 years ago, but probably. But here's the thing. He said, come back on Monday. That was Monday. Following Monday, I was there at 9 a.m. By 10, I was hired. And I had a $600 check to buy suits. Allstate hired me in 2006. 6 months.
Or were you like working?
No, I was doing renters insurance. I was just calling people to get renters insurance. They gave me a quota. I had to do like 10 a week. I was doing 25 a day. It was piece of cake. What? $16 per month for $100,000 worth of coverage? What's hard about that? Boom, 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 boom. 7 months later, my then girlfriend, we found out that she was pregnant. So I got to the office, say, Manny, his name is Manny, was my first mentor here. Awesome guy. And Manny, I think I'm moving to Texas. I just found out that I'm going to be a dad, and Texas is a better place to raise kids. And I got my family, they're going to help and everything. And dude, everything I'm with my kids. Say, Pedro, where are you moving? Tell me the name of that town that you're moving to. So I tell him the name, Cleburne, Texas. He Googled it. And it was like, Pedro, that's a 16,000 people town. What are you doing? What do you need? I say, dude, well, my girl, she's not making enough. She's working at Macy's. Okay, bring it over. Hired. What else you need? Well, man, that's it. Okay, done. 2 days later, she was hired. We could make ends meet, but it was a struggle. And my family was there calling, come here. You're going to be better here. Come back better here. We said, okay. And we made the decision. We moved to Texas. First time ever, me looking for a job in insurance. I couldn't find one.
That's crazy because everybody's always hiring in insurance.
Couldn't find one.
What year was
and
this?
And I've not gone 2008. Yeah, the year my daughter was born.
Yeah, everything was taking a shit. Yeah.
That was that year that my daughter was born. So couldn't find one. I applied at Radio Shack. You know what Radio Shack is, but most kids nowadays, they don't know what Radio Shack is.
Radio Shack, do they have any open stores anymore?
I don't think so. I think they're bankrupted 10 years ago.
Dude, that was the place, like on a hot summer day, you wanted to get out of the heat. You'd ride your bike down. You'd grab a Shasta soda from the soda machine outside the hardware store next to Radio Shack. Yeah. Pound that and then walk in and look at the RC cars.
Yeah. Anything you wanted. I love that job. I had started as a regular associate, then I climbed up to assistant manager, and then I became a manager. One day, this lady comes in looking for a phone because she's opening an office. So I talked to her, she talked to me, and then we talk about all this. And at the end, I say, Pedro, you're bilingual, right? You look Latino, you're bilingual. It's like, yeah. No, she didn't. All guys, I would call him handsome, but she didn't. And she said, oh, Pedro, I'm looking for a guy like you. I'm up in an office right now. I said, what is the office about? What are you selling? Insurance. Farmers. I was like, okay, whatever. She asked me, how much are you making here? I'll tell her. But it was like $600, $700 a week. And she, okay. Done. Guaranteed for the next 3 months. Can you help me? Okay, I did. So I started working with farmers, and that's when I got my old lines in Texas. So, but I've been in insurance without even wanting to be in insurance. So when I wanted to be in insurance, I couldn't find a job. So I worked there for a year and a half, and I was fed up with Texas. I didn't like my Texas life, and I begged my back then wife and just go back to Florida. I miss my Florida. I miss my water. I miss beach, and I miss the weather and the food and everything. And I convinced her, and we moved back to Florida. I did everything here. One day I got shot I worked in a blood bank called One Blood, the big red bus. I don't know if you've ever been in Florida, kind of like Red Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And I was area manager there. I was in charge of 17 zip codes and One Blood. And this friend of mine, she kept talking about this insurance business that she's doing, multi-level marketing business with insurance and everything. I said, nah, I don't like insurance. I did that. I didn't see them big money the old people talk about. So it wasn't a thing for me. And she kept doing it for like a year, dude. Every 2-3 months, Pedro, hey, man, you're going to kill it here. You're bilingual. You're going to kill it here. She eventually gave up talking to me. One day, she calls me, Pedro, I'm about to hit this promotion. All I need 10 people that I can just show a presentation, video it, show a presentation, record it, and I get a promotion. Dude, I only know 7 people in the States. Can you help me? And I'll figure out the other 3. But can you help me? And I remember I told her, hey, here's the thing. Give me a piece of paper while signing an affidavit that you show the presentation and we'll be gone. That's it. But don't come here. Don't waste 30 minutes of my time and show me a presentation. And she did. And that's when I found about IUL thing right on the spot about myself, my kids, and like then girlfriend, now soon to be wife. And we fill out the applications like an hour and a half. And then I say, okay, let me ask you a question. How much do you make for a transaction like this? Pedro, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but all this combined, I'm going to make like $7,000. And I was like, what? For 2 hours of a job? And she was like, see, I told you. That was like a Thursday. Next Tuesday, I signed my first application and I started doing following Monday, I took my exam. That's it. That was November 2020.
Damn, dude. Why did she say she's not supposed to tell you this? Like telling commissions, it's not required, but I mean, that's just disclosures.
I guess. I don't know. I guess she wanted to use it as a hook.
He was playing the game.
She was playing the game and she did it. And I thank her. Even though we're not friends anymore and she screwed me over in a couple of commissions, but hey, I thank her. She got me in business.
Dude, I feel that way. Not exactly that way. The guy that got me in the business, he's a really good guy. He was very under-equipped and he did everything he could, but he was very under-equipped to help me. I almost went bankrupt in this business, but, and there's some things, there's some things I'm very, very grateful he did provide early on, but there's a lot that's like, shit, I really could have used that back when, I got that foreclosure notice and when I told you I had that, I could have used a whole lot more than, the encouragement of see more people. Well, who the fuck do I see and how do I see them? But you know what? He got me in this business. And it's changed my life. And then, I don't even know. 30 years from now, I don't know if I'll stay in this business. It's been good to me. And I'm, here now. But I feel that same way. Like it wasn't a perfect relationship, but I'm grateful. Yeah.
Same thing here. And I'm grateful, too, that she was at WFG.
Dude, so I don't know if you can talk about that. I know certain, BGAs and BDs and FMOs, they all have their rules and this and that and the other. Why that? Because here's the deal. Like they're in the insurance and financial services space, there's less than like 5 of the most controversial organizations in the friggin' business and World Financial Group. And I'm not here to talk shit. We are. No, we're not here to talk shit. Dude, I've got good friend, like my baseball coach growing up was in World Financial Group. His son tried to recruit me back in like 2006, 2007. And I was, balls deep in a whole different profession. Like I've been around him a long time and I've seen it be really, really good to people and really crappy for some people. But the fact remains, it's probably one of the top 5 most controversial organizations in the insurance business. Flat out.
Because we're one of the biggest.
So yeah, I kind of want to dive into that. There's like, I do feel like, and you know this, when you're a top producer, it puts a target on your back.
Yep.
So you mentioned you're one of the biggest. It puts a target on your back right away. But what else? What are some of the struggles that you've had there? But also, what are some of the, I guess, triumphs, the things that have made you say, hey, when it comes to alignment of core values and core focus, and I'm in the right place?
First of all, our motto, no family left behind. That for me says it all in there. First struggles is that I had no market. I was literally asking people to donate blood. And now you're asking me to buy life insurance because you're a professional life insurance specialist, whatever. Come on. So that was my first thing, is building up, getting brainwashed, which I don't know why people have a bad connotation to brainwashing. If you needed to be washed,
brainwashed, you get raped next. So
no, but the thing is, you're washing your brain the way it's supposed to, and you know that. I mean, we're dirty. Money, the way we see money and we perceive money and everything, it's completely wrong for most of us.
Yeah.
So that was my first thing, is the mental toughness on this business through being able to be exposed to a lot of the carriers. I'm not tied to one specific product with one specific company. That for me was, and being able to the leadership, dude, we take it for granted. But how many times have you with a millionaire or multi-millionaire? Probably a lot of times in your career. Most people out there never in their lives did they get to ask questions to a millionaire. Hey, how do you get there? What do you do? What are you doing differently? Why are you different than the rest? So that for me, that exposure to money and to leadership and to those talks, those behind the door talks, dude, I appreciate it, because now I know. Now I know why people make money. Now I know I can ask. In WFG at any given time, if I want to make $1 million a month, I got a guy that I can ask, hey, how are you doing it? Because they're making $1 million a year. If you want to, and talk about money, but it's a lot of things more. Those 5 S's that I know you and Matt talk about, we rule by that too. So it's family, it's faith, and I'm not gonna go into, because then I'm not gonna repeat Matt. But everything that we do, dude, the core values, the team that I am now, the core values that we're gonna do things right. Back last year, there was a major stick-up, major in WFG. A lot of the weed got actually weeded out. So we are actually better now. It was a cleanse. And I'm happy that a lot of those people left. I do miss people like Matt, for example. And some of the leaders that left to GFI, yes, there's good leaders there. But people ask me all the time, why are you not at GFI? And my answer is because I know the leaders. And people are like, they don't get it. Is it exactly, if you know the leaders, why are you not at GFI? Because I know the leaders, like you don't know the leaders. So that's why I'm here. So I love G. That's why I planted my flag. It's just because I know what we're doing, and I have everything that I need.
Where do you see yourself professionally, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? What are you trying to build besides just, because WFG gets painted as, and GFI, frankly, is building out the same, like it's another version of the same thing. They have some nuances that make them unique. But when we're talking like multi-level, and you get painted with this, like, well, if you come on and you bring 10 people on and they bring 10 people on and those 10 people bring 10 people on, we can all be millionaires together, right? Yeah. It's the multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, or marketing, however you want to put it. But I know, because I've been around WFG for a long time. I haven't worked with them. I know a lot of people that have, and some of the best agents and advisors I know in the business are with them, and some of the worst, frankly. But that happens when you're that big. When you're that big, that happens, right?
Correct.
And I could say that about most of the companies that I'm pretty familiar with as well, by the way. What is it you're trying to build, and how is it unique to just another run-of-the-mill multi-level arm or leg inside of that organization?
The biggest Latino community, financial education, period, in history of the United States. Financial literacy.
That's saying a lot. Like, here's one thing I found. When I was, the first company I started with, American National, we were captive and we did home, auto, life, annuities. And we had a group, they couldn't do the property casualty side. And all they did was life, annuities, financial services, primarily in the Dominican. But then they started spreading to other South American countries. And what was always crazy, because I traveled the world with those guys. company trips and eating dinners and going on tours and, riding friggin' four-wheelers through the jungle in the Dominican and all sorts of fun stuff. But you get to talk to people, right? And what always impressed me was this. They were serving, this Latino community, and the desire for financial education was higher. It wasn't, for some reason, there's this stigma that like, oh, well, south of the border, they don't want it as much. Not freaking true. Or south of the border, they can't afford it as much. Not freaking true.
Okay.
Like there's so many stigmas, and I've always kind of been like, damn, I need to learn to speak Spanish because it's an underserved community, but it's the community that wants it more. They need it. They want it. They can afford it even more.
Yes.
And so I think it's a huge opportunity that very few people in our profession actually understand the opportunity is there. And it always kind of stuck out to me. So you mentioned that you want to build this community and have this.
There's 60 millions of us that we can count. They can actually vote and count on census. So 60 million people
and
just waiting.
It's crazy. So why wouldn't somebody just go to, like, you moved here from Venezuela. Why wouldn't they have their financial services done in Venezuela?
Because the way the money works in Venezuela, in Latin America, the way the money works, it's completely different than here. For example, dude, back in the 70s and 80s, if you tell anyone that the rate of return is 6, 7, 8% in Venezuela, they will laugh at you. Because back then, money was so abundant that you invested $1,000 into something, and in the following year, you get $100,000 return. So the way that we perceive insurance is, it's death insurance is let them pay. I mean, what's my benefit when it comes to life insurance? That's one thing. And rate of return 6, 7, 8%. What are you talking about? What you talking about? Because we want things immediate. We want immediate satisfaction. We're not thinking of we'll see what's going to happen when I'm 65. Let me deal with my shit now that I'm 20, 30 years old. That's the way that we Latinos perceive retirement accounts and returns and insurance. And it's completely wrong here. And we come here, we think that we have it figured out, that the same way money is money anywhere, but the way the money is being made in countries, it differs. So that's why we need to have that information, that campaigns, literacy campaigns, so that people can understand.
So a lot of people in Latin America still feel like, have that 60s, 70s mentality, like if I put 1,000 in, I should have 100,000 next year.
Correct.
Damn, dude.
When I sit down with
that's not how money works down there even recently.
It could in our countries, okay. But our countries, the thing is, it's not the money. It's just the economics of our country is bullshit. It's the regimes. Like, we're in the democracy right now, and this is true all across the board. Any country that from Mexico all the way to Argentina, any country in South America, it works the same way. You're in democracy right now, and 10 years from now, you're in a full dictatorship.
So whatever you're doing today may not work for tomorrow.
May not. Why
even bother doing something today?
Correct. So I'm not thinking about the future. I'm thinking about 10 years from now. Top. My dad, he worked his ass off. He had got a couple of PhDs and every accolade that you can have and his profession. And my dad, his retirement account is like 20, I'm not exaggerating, $20 a month, just because the economy went to shit 10 years ago. He was probably 20 years ago. I remember vividly, my sister was getting married, and I took my dad to Bank of America to deposit money for my sister's wedding. Was $50,000. And my dad was like, okay, let's put $50,000 on discount. Now my dad calls me every now and then, hey, I need to change the tires on my car. He went from making probably $4,000 or $5,000 a month in retirement to $20.
Dude, how do you plan for that though? Like,
you can't.
What could you possibly do that would be effective as a financial professional in that kind of circumstance?
You can't, and that's why we don't. We can't in our minds and our brains. We can't process. Let's put a plan for the next 20, 30 years, because it's so integrated in the back of our heads that we don't know what's going to happen in 20 years, that might as well don't plan for it.
Yeah. Maybe things are going well enough I can retire today, but maybe it all goes to shit tomorrow and I got to go to work tomorrow, and that's just normal.
Correct.
Dang. Damn.
That's right. That's why I do it. One of the things that we always, when you guys are independent and we on the recruiting model, the recruiting side, dude, for us and for me, specifically. For me, recruiting is rescuing. Someone rescued me. Someone rescued you, offered you an opportunity. You were about to be foreclosed, and someone gave you a shot. So
No.
why are you keep?
I was making good money. I almost got foreclosed on when I got in this business and didn't get the help I needed.
There you go. There you go. But then I'm sorry.
But
That's your story. Yeah.
we're not here for my story. We're here for yours.
For mine. So someone, I wasn't about to be foreclosed. None of that. I was still making good money, middle of COVID, but it's still. And someone gave me an opportunity. And there's so many stories. Like Jonathan's mom, like Ruth, and she tells you the story. Hey, I was single mom, and someone gave me a shot. So we believe that every time we recruit someone, we actually give someone a shot. Whether you take it or not, that's on you. All I can do is try to teach you the ropes of what I know. From then on, you take your route and do whatever you put. Someone licenses is give him a way to make money for $300. That's your investment to get licensed. $300, and now you can. How much money has your license paid you, Carson? How much money has it paid me?
Millions.
$400 investment.
Yeah.
So you know when people ask me when is the best retirement vehicle that you guys have? WFG IUL. You put $300 into it, and the return is in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, 10 years from now.
Dude. So let's dive into IUL. I know you are balls deep in that fat black chick.
Love it.
And that's a saying. I'm not trying to be racist. That's a saying. That's a nuanced saying.
That's fine. You can be as racist as I can take it.
No.
One of my friends told me, dude, I'm the whitest friend you'll ever have. I said, and I'm the brownest motherfucker, so we're good. We're good.
You're not even that brown.
I'm not even that.
From what I understand, you're quarter Jewish.
I'm quarter Jewish. I'm partially white. If you see my mom is as white. My mom, I tell her, you're not white. You're translucent. If I put you on the sun, I can see through you.
I'm surprised you don't have Stein or Steen on the back of your name. No.
I don't know. Because we're trying to get away from that.
Dudes, talking about IUL, what got you so freaking horny for IUL?
Dude, the more I learn about the product, the more I love it. It's one of those things. When I first started here, yes, I did my IULs, made all the sense in the world. As a buyer, it made all the sense in the world. The money here is safe and it's going to grow. Makes all the sense in the world. And on top of that, I got an insurance in the back end. Take it. But then I watched all Doug Andrews videos that you can watch. I did the IUL Insider for the 3 days one. I didn't do the full Doug Andrews course. But then I realized that's when everything started to hit that is not the product for everyone. And I wanted to know more. And my former upline, the one that got in, he had no idea. He came from Primerica. He had no idea how IULs actually work. But then I see this guy.
Wait, he's
talking about
America and came to an organization that sells this shit out of IUL.
If I can show you I still have my first IUL targeted. He had no idea how to sell those things. My first IULs were completely targeted. I'm paying like $1,500 into it, and it's $1.5 million that coverage, that benefit.
My first was Target as well. Mine wasn't that big. Mine was $200 a month. I think it was a $350,000 death benefit, but it was Target. That was it. I still have that policy, by the way. I can tell you it's not Target anymore. And ever since I moved off of Target, it's always outperformed, and it's not even one of the good ones, but
mine is Transamerica and still performing a 9% rate of return every year. But again, I watched this guy. He showed me this guy called Matthew Schloss. And dude, I see him explaining everything. And we got close. We were at a meeting in Las Vegas 2 years ago. And I was like, man, I saw him. It was like my idol. You're the guy from the videos exposing the IUL and talking about IUL. So we got very close 2 years ago. And then I started texting him, hey, man, can you show me how to explain everything, the back end of an IUL, how to explain an IUL, how to sell an IUL, everything that I need to know about IUL. And he texted me back, sure, in my Zoom. And I started bombarding him with questions. Dude, this, that, how do you illustrate? What is this? What are segments? What are you talking about when you talk about segments and all that? Dude, we got close, very close. And that was September 2023. January 2024, GFI happened. So he left. He tried to recruit me like, you have no idea. We're going at it every month. Every week, he was telling me something bad about WFG, and I was telling him something bad about GFI. Do it for like 3 months. At it, like cat and dog. One day, I remember him. I was walking my dog. I was talking to Matt, and he said, stay in fucking WFG. You're going to be one of the $100,000 ring earner for life. And I said, you'll see who I am. That was my moment. I'm going to prove him wrong. To this day, I told him like 3 weeks ago, I said, thank you, dude, because you make me want to be better at this thing. There are people that if you say things like that, it's going to break him. Is that make you or break you moment? For me, when you push me like that, dude, you have no idea who you just woke up. You woke up a demon inside of me. And since then, nonstop, learning more and more, asking questions to wholesalers and everything. Asking questions, what to do. 5 months ago, I got the shot. All the time that I got investing into learning about IUL, how to arbitrage and leverage and everything, paid up. I got this guy that he's an influencer in the real estate business and IUL for arbitrage. And that's what we've been doing for real estate.
Damn, dude.
So that's why I ask you questions, dude. What is the blind spot that you see?
I know in the little bit that I've known you, the last, or not even necessarily known you. It's not like we're barbecuing on weekends at this point, but the little bit we've gone back and forth on social media here and there. I know one of the things that I've been impressed about is that when something comes up, and I remember I think it was probably like August or September. We were on a live on late night, and there was like 7 or 8 of us. There was a bunch of us, and there was a lot of shit talking going on or whatever. And somebody brought up volatility control indexes. And I probably had a little too much to drink, but I just went off on it about like, they're not the end of the world, but understand it's like volatility control index is not going to year over year make you fucking 50%. That's not how it's works. It's literally built on the back of fucking bonds and shit. And I kind of feel like everybody else just tuned me out. But literally, like, as soon as I wrapped up my rant, you had like 3 questions like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, yeah. And that was the kind of the moment I was like, oh, shit. Like, Pedro's not just another one of these people out here just, slinging his opinion and unwilling to listen to anything else. Like, he's here learning too. And then taking that learning and elevating everything else he's doing. And that was one of the moments that I was like, okay, I'm not just going to write Pedro off as another
dope agent.
Yeah, another chump, frankly. And I don't mean to say that to call everybody chumps, but it's like, I wish it was more common. And so I do have to commend you for that, for being willing to learn. Cause like, here's the thing too. And it's not against WFG. Just, I told Matt this as well, Schloss. When you're caught in this bubble, 99% of the education you get is somehow, even though like it's not intentional, it's unintentional, it's somehow still tied to the paycheck of the people putting on the education, right?
Yep.
And so a lot of context gets left out. If a vol control index illustrates better and illustrate better, makes these products sell better, then hey, let's not spend 2 hours going down this nuanced road of everything else, right? But when you start getting that third-party education, that third-party collaboration, that third-party accountability, it's not that those people are better than like your upline and who you're already with. It's just when people are willing to share and it's not tied to the paycheck at all of a sudden the conversation, like it just grabs another gear. It's already going good, but it grabs another gear. It's like, shit. And that was a cool moment actually with you. I don't know if I've ever told you that. Kind of like working that live. I don't even know if you remember that live, but
I remember that live with JV Insurance, and I remember everyone was like, Pedro, you're the dumbest guy in the room. And said, thank you. I love to be the dumbest guy in the room because that means that I got so much to learn. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room ever. Please, I want to be in the room with Carson and with Jonathan and with Matt and with everyone that is huge in the business, because this is my career. This is not a job for me. This is my career. I want to be able to answer all the questions when they're asked, especially because I got people and dude, like you, I think you said it. I have this moral thing that if I bring you into the business, I got to help you make money.
Dude, that's the thing. Cause there are so many people in this business that are like, I have an opportunity for you. I'm sorry, but getting your insurance license is not a fucking opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, it is in a way, but also anyone can get, like, all you have to do is not murder yesterday and you can have an insurance license.
Pretty much.
Like, yeah, pass a test and on you go. The real opportunity is getting in with people who are ethical, moral, profitable, and have a system of ethics and morals and profitability that you can plug into and not go broke getting into this business doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I told you my only job when I bring you to the business is to go from this license costs you $300 to this was your investment of $300. So I gotta make you money as soon as possible. So it goes from cost to an investment. That's my only job. And if I can, I take my brain and dump it into you. Everything I know, I want you to know it too.
So what's your system, dude? What is it that you do? Like, there's a lot of people. In fact, 100% of all WFG is recruiting right now. They will bring you on the team.
But
WFG?
last time I checked, well, to be honest, the real numbers are never explained. But just in my hierarchy, 40,000 people were recruited last year.
So 40,000 people just last year. Every single one of them is with WFG, and they can get access to the same contracts and the same this and the same that. So that's not unique. Why the fuck would anybody that was considering UFG, for example, why would they give Pedro a call versus somebody else? What is it you've built that's going to help them get from A to B better?
Trainings. We do twice a week trainings, 3 times a week actually, trainings. And again, the community that I'm serving is Hispanic, and we do 3 times a week with hands-on. And not only from Pedro, they're going to hear from a lot about all their leaders. They're also going to hear trainings and everything about product. And dude, I drill onto product. You have to know your shit. I don't let my people touch an IUL until I know, because I tell them, this is what I tell them. Day one, you are first day of school. You can't graduate. Term policies is going to be your bread and butter the next year. Master that. And then if you talk about IUL briefly and someone is interested, bring it over to me. Be there so you learn. When they ask questions, I want you to be there. So it's not like you're going to refer these clients and be done. No, I want you to be there. So when they ask those questions, when the clients ask questions, you know what I'm saying. You can repeat.
Yeah. Dude, when I go, like I get flown around and I do all sorts of webinars and stuff too, but I go speak on stages and oftentimes, I get a variety of topics, but oftentimes I'm talking about, how do you sell more cash value life insurance, bigger cash value life insurance. I'm speaking in May in Dallas, and I'm literally giving a presentation on how to get a check for $1 million for cash value life insurance, right? And dude, literally every single one of these, my opening line is, if you want to sell more cash value life insurance, sell more term insurance. You've got to master that, number one. But number two, if you sell 100 policies, law of large numbers says probably 10 of those were maybe appropriate for cash value. And just because you sold in term doesn't mean you can't do cash value now. You can go back and maybe they need an additional or an alternate and convert. And there's so many things there, and you've already earned their trust. But it's crazy to me how many people come in this business and they want to hinge their career on, like from day one, I want to hinge my career on selling 50 policies a year of a very nuanced policy. So complicated, most attorneys don't understand it.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, it's a nuanced, complicated policy. The IUL, for example.
A lot of moving parts.
They want to build a career on that versus like, what's not complicated and solves legitimate problems? Friggin' term insurance.
That's all this. Yeah.
And how the hell are you going to sell or explain an IUL unless you understand term? Because IULs are term insurance that doesn't expire.
Yeah. They renew every year.
It's kind of weird, kind of interesting, but like you got to build on those bones. So it's cool to hear you say that.
Dude, my first couple of years, I wasn't even a recruiter. But here's the kicker that I get every time, dude. It still amazes me. When I tell people, well, you start at a 25% contract. And I know for you, it's going to, what? How? But dude, when I was in sales my whole life, in no other industry would talk about 25% as a very low percentage of commission. If you go to real estate, they die for a 3-4%. The brokers get 6%. The agents make 3%. And they would die to work at a real estate.
To be fair, though, they're selling the American dream. What they sell is so fucking easy to sell. Like, my God.
Yeah.
Whoa. We sell. Nobody wants to buy insurance. Everybody wants to buy a home.
Buy a house. Yeah.
All we know they figure out is, do you like the house and can you afford it?
And we'll do everything that we can to make it happen.
We'll even change the laws to make it happen. We'll change the mortgage rate so that instead of only being able to loan over this much, we'll loan over 30% over that because home values are too high, but we'll still get you in the home. Like it's different. Dude, I will tell you this. I've seen more insurance agents go to real estate and make money like crazy than I've seen real estate agents come to insurance and make money.
Really?
But this is a hard, I'm just telling you from what I've seen, my own perspective, it's a harder business. It is a harder sell. You're not selling the American dream. You're selling the shit nobody wants to spend money on.
But here's the thing.
You're right. We do get a damn good commission on it.
Do you know what I always tell my real estate agents?
What's that?
Why are you choosing between one or the other? Why not do both?
Yeah.
You never want to be in this spot where you have to choose between one thing or the next or the other. Do both. So how many houses do you sell a year? But a good agent, good real estate agent, 4 houses, 3 houses. What are you doing in between those 3 sales? Let me help you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of validity to that conversation. I personally don't want to, but I'm also really good at selling insurance. So I'm busy doing what I'm doing. I don't, but yeah, on the real estate side, why wouldn't you?
And then again, and I go back. I remember when I first asked, like, so how do I commission that? And I remember he told me 25%. I was like, what? And then he said, and that's just in training. If you get good at this, I can double that in the next 45 days. I was like, what? Like 50% commission? You kidding me? I was in. I bought the dream right there. So that's why I always talk about percentages. When people go by percentage, oh, we'll offer you 140%. I'll offer you 80%, 90%. You don't know numbers, brother. I can offer you 300% if I want to. I know numbers. I know how to play with numbers. And this is what I tell people. And Carson, you're good at math. If I offer you a 25% of a year premium, it's the same thing as I offer you a 300% of the monthly premium. Same numbers. So I can offer you, hey, Carson, you want to come with me, work with me? I give you 300% commission right there. If the client puts $100, I'll pay you $300.
My only thing is that is somewhat misleading. And
it is.
And say this to Matt too, because I legitimately can offer 140%. And will I give it to a new agent? Fuck no. I'm going to have to hold your hand and no, but I can give them 80% of an annual contract day one.
Yeah.
But it's also different. You know, I can provide,
but you know this,
resources. I can't provide the infrastructure and the culture, the rah-rahs. And I've talked my fair share of shit on the rah-rahs, but you know what? Those rah-rahs get a lot of people motivated to make that one next sell that keeps them from going broke. And then they turn into $100,000 a year producer.
Yes. Can't deny that. And it's a different model. I tell people, if you don't want to recruit, I remember I told Matt this, and we'll go back to it. But I remember, if you just want to sell, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in GFI? What are you doing go independent. If you just want to make a lot of money every time you make a sale, any IMO, BGA, color however you want, are not gonna be the best bet for you.
If you want to grow a team, and I still maintain, there's times I'm like, well, if I wanted to grow a team again, I'd probably just link up one of these groups, because like WFG or GFI, like I don't want to grow a team again, but the support structure there for that, and the compensation model for that, you don't get on the independent side. So independent, I can get paid way, way more for sure, but independent is independent.
I want to be correct. You're self-employed. Good job. So it was the happiest and the saddest day of your life when a policy gets paid. Good job. Now have to go back and get another one. So that's why that's not the business model that I want. So when I understood the G model on it, the next 5 years, I don't want to be writing policies. Delegating. Go ahead. I just want 30,000 feet above, overseeing everyone. Having a team so big, just like Ed Milet. Just give me 1%, 0.5, 100,000 agents. Okay.
What is Ed even doing now? Because he was WFG, he left and did Ed Milet Financial, and then I've heard he's done something else now.
He's coming back. He's still overseeing the whole company, the whole WFG, not even his team. He's overseeing the whole company. That's all he does. He jumps in our Zoom every now and then, and he does the yearly convention and does his talk and everything. Motivational.
What was the point of making that exit and launching Ed Milet Financial?
No clue. I guess he was just tired of dealing with people. That's the hardest part of this job.
Yeah, I get that. It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. So we've got for our inner circle for our mastermind thing we run, right? Vegas, I think next week we'll be in Vegas and we'll be there. We'll have a good time. I'll buy everybody drinks and lunch and dinner and the whole 9 yards. It'll be fun. But after that, dude, I think I'm about ready. Like the holidays are done. All the early year travel for me is done. I know a lot of people are like, holidays is over after Christmas. But in the insurance world, you have holidays and then all your carriers and organizations, they have first of the year meetings, January through like February.
When do those?
They end up Yeah, so I'm traveling, I'm speaking, and when you're speaking, you're hanging out with people, going to the bar, and it's like, ugh. So this is my last one, and then I think I'm going. Yeah, I'll probably go 3-4 months without drinking a single drop of alcohol, and I'll get up early, do my little brisk walk, and all the things.
Relax for a little bit. Yeah.
Dude,
For us,
I'm so bad. Like I'm every single year, I'll like gain 30, 40 pounds, lose 30, 40 pounds, like once or twice a year. I'm awful
yeah,
at it.
yeah, me too. I'm the same way. And from like May all the way to September, do this on nonstop trips. Like we go to Italy, we go to Las Vegas, we go to Virgin Islands. We all have all the company trips and everything is in those 6 months. So I can't diet while those. And I'm planning because I think we're gonna push because there's a lot of going on right now in the business. We're planning about getting married by the end of the year. But yeah, dude, I'm happy. So, but I think that we're gonna push. Maybe. I don't know.
I hope she doesn't
Should have
break
heard
my
about
heart
her.
like that bitch in high school.
No, she's not gonna. I got lucky. I got very lucky. She is the mastermind of the business. Like I tell people, I'm just a pretty face in front of a camera. I don't know my schedule. I really don't know my schedule. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing next. She's the one that does the pending business, recruiting. I mean, not recruiting, but she's the licensing team. She's the head of the licensing team. She knows when someone grabs, she's the one who's going to make sure, grab her by the hand, make sure that I actually take the licensing course and the exam and everything. So just when they're licensed, she hand them back to me. Now I'll do all the training calls and trainings and everything. But she runs the business. I don't know how she does it. And she has we have like 4 CRMs that we're running. She takes care of.
Badass, man. My wife, when we put on live events, we'll put on live events and have hundreds of people there and sometimes thousands of people live streaming in, and she'll help coordinate that. But other than that, she doesn't work with me in the business at all in any way, shape, or form. But I couldn't do it without her. Like there are times, most of the time things are pretty good. It's like, hey, 25, 30 hours a week, I can make a shit ton of money and then go be with the family. But there are times, and frankly, the last few months have been some of those times where it's been like, okay, I got to go back to work. And to her credit, I can be like, hey, I got to work. Like I'll come home and sleep in our bed for sure, but I might not see you during waking hours for the next month. I don't know, for the next week, the next month. Like I've got to do what I got to do. And she's like, okay, I got the house. And she's got to care of that. It is just fucking handled. The kids, the house, the this, the that, like just freaking handled. I couldn't do what I do without that. And so even though he's not directly involved in the business, I couldn't be so involved in the business without that support. And I think the support of a good partner, it makes or breaks you.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what's funny in this business? I was doing a training yesterday about this. The more of a full-time you are, the less of a full-time you are. The more money you make in here, the less full-time. I started being a full-time, like in my first year in business, I made like $30,000 and I was already full-time. But now I'm a thumb-timer now. I'm not a full-timer, I'm not a part-timer, I'm a thumb-timer now. And I'm making more money than I was before when I was really going at it, spending 8 hours, 9 hours a day, just making calls and running illustrations and text messages and emails. I'm still running a lot of meetings right now because we're pretty bombarded the past 2 weeks.
That's the thing about not just this business, but business. I've had a couple other businesses outside of this business too. It's the same way. The hardest you'll ever work is to get the wheel rolling.
Running.
Right? And then the trap most people in our business get caught in, though, is they'll work their dick to the dirt or their lady dick to the dirt. Yeah. And it's 2025, so chicks have dicks. And so you said it. Hey, they'll work it to the dirt and get to this place where it's like, man, I put on all that work. The wheel's rolling now. And so now I'm going to do nothing. Like I worked like a dog for the last 3-6 months and I made $100,000. And so now they just vacation for 3 to 6 months. And 3 to 6 months later, they're like, shit, I'm broke. I got to work my dick to the dirt to dig back out again. Versus you work your dick to the dirt, you get it rolling, and then you got to keep it going enough.
Momentum.
That it doesn't slow down. If you don't want to speed it up, okay. If you're happy where you're at, but you got to do enough to not let it slow down. And that's where it's a trap they get caught in.
Your goal should be to have, and whatever your financial thermostat is set at, whatever the money is, always have it in your pipeline. That's your goal. Your goal is not to collect $100,000. Let's say it's $100,000. It's to have every 3 months $100,000 in your pipeline.
Oh, minimum. Yeah, minimum.
And dude, and the hardest part is that thing that I just talked about is the financial thermostat. You can't get comfortable here making 6 figures easily. Let's be honest. I said that on a live the other day about 2 months ago. And dude, making money in this industry is not hard. It's not.
And it's not. It's not. There are people that are like, I would never do it because I need to go work hard for a living. I'm sorry, but you will never work harder than you do. Like it's just a different kind of hard. It's a mind.
It's a 100% mindset.
What was it? Get Him to the Greek. Did you ever watch Get Him to the Greek?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, great movie, dude. Great movie. But what's the line? He's like something to the tune of like, I've got a dirty mind. Can you feel my dick against your brain? Right? It is a mind fuck. It's one thing to break your body over your work for sure. It's a whole other thing, and maybe not harder, but it's equally as hard to put a dick against your brain every goddamn day, dude. It's hard. It's hard.
This business takes a toll, and more
to your point,
you deal with people.
It can happen quickly.
It can happen quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another industry where you can become a millionaire faster than you can in here. Faster and almost guaranteed. Like if you do the job and you stick around, if you really stick around, not like I'm going to give it a try for 3 months and see what happens. Like if you say, I'm going to give this a 5-year run and see what happens, you almost got to guarantee success.
Dude, I feel like I can make money better. I don't know about more honestly, but better by running a church.
So practical.
Dude, I'm telling you, I could rent out an abandoned mall, and I'm pretty sure I could fill that with 25,000 people every freaking Sunday pretty quick. Dude, I'm a captivating human being, and I've watched Monty Python, so I can tell you, like, and the Lord did grin, and the people did cheer.
Maybe. And I have an uncle that is a Catholic priest, so I grew up Catholic in it, but I'm not gonna go into
yeah, it's a route, dude. If he wanted to be rich, he needed to be independent.
Yes, no, definitely. No. But honestly, dude, if you think about it, look around how hard it is to make money here. When you don't have to know more, you don't have to get a bachelor's. You just have, if you really want to master your craft, you just have to master your craft, and you're gonna be great in this industry. That's why I was on a live the other day and someone asked me, hey, Pedro, out of a whole WFG, let's say 70,000 agents right now, licensed agents, who do you trust for IUL to the 1%? Because the majority of people, they don't want to master the craft. They just want to be handed food. They don't want to go hunt and be the best in their careers.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't trust anyone and do it. I do trainings and I tell my people, if you really want to get into IUL, you got my calendar. Book me an hour, 2 hours. Just start with that. You know how many calls I get? Because you know what's easy? Target policies.
Yeah.
The illustrator does it. And explain it from above.
Well, dude, I know it's frustrating for me. Like we run this mastermind that's agnostic, right? And we teach IUL. We teach IUL on a high enough level that we've got carriers. We've got some of the biggest organizations in the business that pay us to come and teach this stuff. But the individual agent, they can get in for $10 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month, you know, and work their way up. Obviously, we get more advanced, but by the time we're doing $500 a month, it's like, hey, at $500 a month, if you don't make an extra $100,000, I'll give you your money back, guaranteed. And here's the damn thing, Pedro. Out of all of that, and the millions of people with an insurance license and tens of thousands that come through our pipeline, do you know how many are willing to commit to $10 a month, $100 a month? Very few. And we've got hundreds and thousands of people in the program, but very freaking few. Very few. Do you know what they're more willing to do? They're like, hey, instead of spending $100 a month to become a master of my craft and not just master the product, but how do I market it? How do I sell it? How do I close it? How do I service it? They would rather spend $100 a month buying donuts for some fat ass mortgage lender that's not sending them referrals anyways on the pipe dream and hope that mortgage lender is going to start referring.
Yeah.
They don't refer because they don't trust you because you're a dumbass anyways. Like,
they don't trust you.
Crazy to me. It's hyper frustrating that people they say they want to succeed, but they don't. They want to exceed or succeed. They want to succeed, but they don't actually want to succeed. Because if you wanted it, you would do it. I found this, and it's not just insurance. You have the exact life you want. Like, why am I overweight right now? Because I wanted all those booze and I wanted that fucking good food. I want taco time. want some crisp meat burrito. And that's why I'm fat right now. I'm about done being fat. So I want to drop 30, 50 pounds. So I'll do that. And in the next 6 months, I'll drop 30 to 50 pounds. And that's like we were talking, the cycle I'm caught up in. But I live the exact fucking life I want to live. If I wanted something else, I'd do it, because human beings, by protocol, we are freaking programmed to be selfish, and not in the negative connotation of the word. That's just reality. Get what the fuck we want. You want to be a meth head? Guess what? You'll find meth. You want to be wealthy? You'll find wealth. You want to be independent? You'll find independence. If you want community, you'll find it. You have what you want. Everything else is bullshit. And so quit beating yourself up over shit you didn't want anyways, or learn to want different things. Manage your own expectations. So I'll get on your high horse, but you got me triggered.
Choose your heart. I did a video in Spanish about this. Choose your heart. You know what's hard? Not to eat the food that you want and eat lean and eat good. That's freaking hard. Choose your heart. You're not happy with the picture that you see reflected in the mirror. That's your heart. It's a reminder every day, Carson. So choose your heart. Choose to be who you are and be happy with it, or choose the other side. The I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise. You know what's fucking hard? Waking up at 5 a.m, got to hit the gym every day. Stop eating junk food. That's hard, because you know what's really good? Junk food. You got to choose your heart.
Though, feeling like shit because you ate junk food. So yeah, choose your heart. Now, I want you to hit that rant in Espanol, but here's the challenge. You can't make it sound like Univision.
Escoge tu difícil. Todo es difícil. You know what's hard? Waking up at 6 a.m. because we've got to go to an office.
Wait. You're pussing out. You said 5.
5. No, I mean, when you wake up and you got to go to an office to do a job that you hate, that's hard. You know what's also hard? Being independent. You don't know where the next paycheck is coming. You got to make it happen. That shit is hard. Mentally, what we do mentally, we don't get a guaranteed paycheck. We've got to make it happen. That shit is hard. It's clear. Yeah.
Mind fuck.
So, dude, it's tough. I remember my sister one day, she told, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how can you be so sure that you're going to have a check next month. I'm not sure. I don't know. Dude, I lost my whole team, 95% of my team, January 2024 to GFI. You know what's, when you're used to making 10, 15, 20 grand a month, and then all of a sudden in a month, boom, back to zero, that's hard. So it took me a couple of days. Bam, bam, bam. I was depressed. One day I said, you know what? I still got to pay my rent. I still got to pay my bills and everything. Make it happen again. And boom, I grew again. Why? Because what's the alternative? Think about it. What's the alternative? If you just sit down and you just feel bad about yourself, oh, this guy did this to me, did this to me, did this to me. I chose my heart. I'm going to go back in the trenches, go make those calls, go talk to people, go try to get those referrals from the people that I already sold policies to. And boom, again, I chose my heart. You know what's hard? Not to pay rent, not being able to pay rent or mortgage or house payment or your car payment. So make a call, see if I can get your business every day. Neon light is on. I open my doors every day. Make it happen. That's what I did. I made that decision. I get that the rejections. I'm going to do the rejections. I take all the no's in the world. I'll take all the bullying in the world. I take all the everything, laughters, make fun of, mocking me, all in the world. So my kids don't have to take it. That's what wake me up every morning. I'll take it. That's why I laugh at people when people, and make fun of me and make videos of me or whatever.
Dude, I was just going to say, that's why it doesn't bother you when Jonathan puts you on a hit video. He's a Mexican making fun of you. God damn it.
I'm back again. Back again. I've done it in the past. I'll do it again. And it doesn't bother me at all, dude, because I chose what I'm about to do. And I know what I'm doing. And I know nobody knows what my business look like. So you talk, and they think if I push IUL on people, think it. I don't care. I know what I'm doing. And I know how good and how dangerous IULs can be for a lot of people. I take my job seriously because I know, but I also know the danger, the alternative too, of not having insurance at all.
Dude, it's interesting because we, my in-laws, and not just mother-in-law, but sisters-in-law and this and that. Everybody in my family, everyone's like, how can you live this life because it's feast or famine. We might have a month. We do 6, multiple 6. There's been times I wish it was more recent than it's been, but there has been times we've done 7-figure months. And then there are times that like I'll go 3-4 months on dry, a single penny coming in. And they're like, how do you do it? How do you know you're gonna figure it out? And I'm like, because what I know is this: 2 + 2 = 4. The times I don't bring money in, it's because I got comfortable with 4. I quit doing 2 + 2. If I just do 2 + 2, eventually the math always works out. Always. I might need to make 100 calls. Sometimes I only need to make 20 calls. It doesn't fucking matter. What I know is if I make enough calls too, and I say the right things and I do the right things +2, I will always get 4 on the other side of the equation. 100% of the time. Over a decade in the business, it has not failed me yet. I've failed me. There's been times I've gotten caught in the trap where I didn't keep that wheel spinning.
Yep.
But math has never failed me. It's not a fucking mystery. It's math, right?
Yep.
So it's incredible. But that's the whole thing, dude. So let's talk about that for a minute, if you would. Managing the expectations, because family seems to feel like they have a right to comment on your life. And that's my family. I know oftentimes in Latino culture, even more so, because families are a closer unit, frankly.
Yep.
Family feels like it's their prerogative, their obligation to comment on your life when maybe they don't even understand it. How has being in this business impacted your life with your family? What has that been like?
This thing has actually bettered my life, but it became from me understanding my expectations with them. Dude, you can never open a business thinking that your family is gonna be backing you up and be behind your back. You go broke. Because if you open a restaurant and you invite your family, what's the first thing they're gonna ask? Do I get a discount? Do I
get a discount? And why am I paying for what mom made for dinner on Sundays? That's bullshit.
Right.
It's like,
so I know my brother, up until today, I remember I was gonna open IUL for my nephew 2 years ago. And I remember it's still, and it's right here. I can still hear it. My brother said, I'm not putting a price tag on my kid's life. And you're so stupid. You're so stupid. If anything is gonna happen to my nephew, which nothing is gonna happen to my nephew, it's gonna happen with or without insurance. Period. All I'm doing to my nephew is right now making sure that he's insurable for the rest of his life, no matter what happens. But again, it was tough for him. Up until today, about 3 months ago, we're having a conversation and we talk about Roth versus traditional, which he has no idea what a Roth account was. And he said that traditional makes more sense, that it's better not to delay taxes. And I showed him actually ChatGPT and sent it to him, and they made more, but he didn't say anything back. But again, they don't have the information that I have. I can ask them to see what I see. Just like he's a car salesman. If I don't know anything about cars the way he does, but I was able to early on in my career understand that my family is not gonna be my fan. And the same way I told them, you're not getting life insurance for me. That's fine, but I'm not giving $1 to a GoFundMe.
It took me years. My parents, when I first got in the business, my parents, it took them about a year, 2 years, when they were like, okay, you didn't fail out in the first 3 months. And they let me do their home and auto insurance, because they probably figured, well, like, you can't fuck that up. You put it in a computer, it spits out a price, you bind the coverage, it is what it is, right? And I was able to, save them a bunch at the time and whatever. But it took years. Like, I'm talking like, I don't know, 8-9 years before anyone in my family, my close family, would let me look at not just like financial services, but even something as simple as like term life insurance. I mean,
because they know Carson.
Better part of a decade. Yeah, they know Carson. They know this fuck up that's a punk and listened to screamo music in high school and used to blow shit up out in the desert and all this stuff, and who is an auto mechanic and did damn well in auto mechanics, had a really good career there, and now he's pretending to be insurance and finance. And it took 8 fucking years to where it was like, okay, maybe he's not pretending anymore. And not just 8 years, but of those 8 years, 6 of those 8 years were spent, 6.5 of those 8 years were spent as a top producer for not just one, but multiple companies on a national level, flying all around the country and world to speak and teach and train. And it's like, but they're the last ones to get it. So when you talk about like, those are difficult conversations. Those are difficult conversations, man.
I left all my family group chats, all of them. It was hard because I was looking for their approval. first year. I was sending him videos. Hey, I got called to make this conference and to speak in front of 1,000 people and speak up in front of 3,000 people, and no one showed up. Dude, it was hurting. So I don't care about those 3,000 people who say, Pedro, you're the best. Thank you for the call. Thank you because you made it. Didn't matter to me. I was looking for that one from my sister, my brother, my dad, and my mom, or whomever. And I'm proud of you. But that was little Pedro looking for that approval.
We've all got daddy issues.
Looking for that approval. Yeah. Yeah. It was, I did my psychology sessions and everything because yes, that was me, little Pedro looking for attention because I was just like you. I had big brothers and I got younger brothers. So I was always outsmarted or outloved by the younger ones. But I learned my lesson. I did my therapy sessions and not anymore. And I left all my family chat because even not until today, I want their approval. I want their proud of you. So I don't seek it anymore. I don't leave it in my chats. I'm not gonna say anything because I would hate if I tell you I love you and I don't get a heart or a like from my family. It hurts. So I don't say it. So I don't get hurt in that aspect.
But you do. I'll say it if you'll say it. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, dude. To this day, and I'm grateful because over the last few years, a lot more of my family started to lean in and be like, okay, well, Carson isn't everything to everyone, but he is truly excellent at a few things here. And we happen to have a want or a need, and that's a resource. And I not just because, I'm not going to cut you a discount because I'm an asshole, but regulatory wise, I can't cut you a discount. I can't fucking discount your insurance.
Yeah.
I literally cannot. I'm working on a term policy for one of my brothers right now. He used to have an insurance license. He used to work for me. I can't give him the commission. He let his insurance go. So I'm like, brother, come up this summer, dude. I'll take you guys out on the 4-wheelers and all this shit. But like, you've got a need. You've had some more kids. And you've only got $100,000 worth of life insurance when you need 1.5 million, right? Like the law literally prohibits me. I could lose my license, and I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm not willing to risk my family's livelihood for you to make, I think the commission's like $500, $600. It's not a lot, right? And so I'm grateful that I'm getting those calls and those conversations with them at this point. However, dude, there's a lot. I won't say who, but there's one of my family members I helped with some annuities a couple years ago, and they didn't want to talk to me about usage and utility, and they started dating a person that told them, who has never had anything to do with finance, that told them to move some money out in 2 years. I just found this out. Like, I didn't get notices. I didn't get shit because they went right to the company and started talking to me. They've lost $25,000 to some penalties they didn't need to lose from. Why? Because she still has millions in a brokerage account without the penalties. Like, why wouldn't you take it off of there? Are you kidding me? But no, it's kind of disheartening still. There's a lot of times it's like, fuck, why wouldn't you just call me? I don't beat you down. I'm here to build you up and help you out. But the family thing, it's a heartfelt thing.
Credibility. They know you. They know Carson. And that picture of Carson growing up being an asshole, listening to Rage Against the Machine or whatever, Nirvana, whatever, it's always going to be there.
Listen, the deciders will force you to do what they have decided you must do. Okay?
So exactly, dude. So I'm like, stop. Again, I'm not here for my family, dude. A few minutes ago, we were talking about this. I laugh internally when someone says, when I ask him, hey, what do you want to succeed? Why do you want this business to be it? Why do you want it so bad? Oh, because of my family. Bullshit. If that's the reason everyone gives, every parent, if you ask them, why do you want to be successful? Oh, because I want to give my kids the life I never had. Because I want my kids to be successful. Because I want bullshit. If that was true, every parent in the world be successful. That's all you needed to be a parent. It's all that we want. But that's not going to wake you up in the morning. That's not going to make you out of bed every morning. I tell people you have to have 2 lists. Every day you got to have 2 lists. The people that you want to shut, the people that you want to prove wrong, those are the ones that are going to make you wake up every morning at 5 in the morning. I got to show you this, that I'm good at this. I'm going to show you that I'm good at this. Those are the ones you're going to use in the morning to wake up. Your family, the other list, your family, your parents, everyone, your friends, everyone that you want to prove right. That's when you're tired, when you're really tired because you hit the trenches and you're full of mud and everything because you got rejections and no's and everything that you're tired of a long day, then you put your head on the pillow. I did it for you. That's the other lesson that you need. I did it for you. I'm going to wake up to prove you wrong. I'm going to go to sleep because I did it for you, amongst my friends. So stop lying. You're not going to make it happen for your family. You're going to make it happen to shut those voices in the back of your head that doubted you, said that you're not going to be good enough, that you're not good enough. And those are the voices you still have in the back of your head, Carson. You still got that one person that I'm saying this, and you got that one person that you're thinking of.
Oh, for sure. We all do. I've never met a successful person, even if they're already making. My client, who's the most wealthy, he's worth $6 billion. Him and I, this was years ago. We had this conversation. It was probably 2019, 2020. And I was down hanging out with him in Newport Beach, and we were having a very similar conversation. And he's Saudi Arabian. He's a Saudi national. However, he was born in Lebanon, and most of his family is Lebanese.
Lebanon food.
And
best food in the world.
But, I'm talking to him, and he's like, I can tell you to this day. And back then, he was like 65 back then. It's like, to this day, I wake up because there's that one bully. There's that one fucking bully, and I've never shut him up. $6 billion later, I've never shut him up in here. And so I wake up and I do it. And that's always been a powerful thing. Like, damn.
You need two things in this, and especially in our industry, two things to make it happen: a crusade and an enemy. Our Williams showed us the way. Crusade, all life crap. And crusade, I Chavez Best difference. And he actually literally changed the whole industry because whole life company, a whole life policy didn't pay up when they needed it. Or dead. Look at us 70 years later, still debating because a freaking company didn't pay when it was needed. A whole life company didn't pay when it was needed. Crusade and an enemy. What was the enemy? Whole life. What was the crusade? By Chavez Best difference for everyone.
That's some shit right there.
That's all you need, brother. What's my crusade? Change the life of 60 million of Latinos in the United States. Think about it this way. If every single Latino in the United States buy a $1 million term policy, the next generations of Latino born in the U.S. are going to be trillionaires. We can change the world. All our countries are in shit. We can make it. We can change it forever. It's $1 trillion dump into our countries to better our countries.
Some powerful stuff, dude. So tell me, let's change gears here just a little bit. What do you feel like? Have you ever had, I know there's probably in my life, I would say, I don't know, 2 to 4, 2, 3, maybe 4 moments that changed my life. Like it was a defining, pivotal moment, sometimes for the best and sometimes for the worst. What was the most pivotal moment in your life changing you for the better? Like, is there a specific, I can look back and I can specifically say like this fucking instance, this thing happened, this thing occurred, this person said this and I did that and this occurred or, this scenario in my life, whatever. I can look back and there's several very defining moments.
Before and after?
Yeah. Like I was headed this direction and then this happened and I decided everything moving forward was going to be infinitely better.
Let's start with this industry. I got licensed in 2020, November 2020, December 2020, December 26th, 2020. I was in Washington. I was taking selfies with my girl and everything. We're in Washington and everything. My aunt DM'd me on Instagram. Hey, you're in Washington. This was 1 p.m. Oh, you're in Washington. Favorite city. You got to go to this place. You got to eat it here. Favorite city in the world to be in. Washington is the best. And I was like, okay. But I see it on the screen. I see the text message on the screen, but I don't reply. Oh, because I'm having fun. I'm taking pictures and everything. About 3 or 4 p.m. that day, we were heading back to New York. We were staying in New York. And on my way from Washington to New York, which is a 3-hour drive, I think it is, my mom calls me. My aunt just passed away. She had an aneurysm, no life insurance. And I had the power of this license, and I couldn't help my family. I couldn't help my own aunt to get a life insurance because I was afraid to ask, because I was afraid of rejection. That was 1 month being licensed, no more. That's why I was so pushy with my family at first. It literally happened to us. And it killed me as my sister, she has 5 siblings, including my mom. She has a son, and I got 3 older siblings in front of me. So I got 8 people when we were collecting money to pay for funeral and cemetery and everything all together, final expenses. I still had to come up with $600. How many families I can change with this thing right here? That was my pivotal moment. Said, this is not going to be just another job. I'm going to change life with this. I got to get people ensure so it doesn't happen to anybody else ever. Not on my watch. But you know what happened a month later? I slacked. I forgot that moment. That's why I'm happy that someone believed in me and kept doing everything because yes, that was I'm going to kill it. And I have it in the back of my head. Every time I sit down with someone, all I have is $25. I got to get you something. Start with that 10-year term policy that we can convert later on. So that was my crusade. And that was my pivotal moment that I'm 1 month into the business. And before that, divorce. I got divorced. I was living with myself. I only had literally my dog, PlayStation, and my clothes. And I got my kids. And I remember my apartment caught on fire. And I was living in a hotel. I lived in a hotel for a month because the apartment was uninhabitable. And I remember seeing my kids in the hotel. Say, dude, what happened? 2 months ago, I was at my house, and now I'm freaking stuck in a hotel with my kids. And for my kids, they were having a blast living in the hotel. Food in the morning, and they got room service and everything. They were having a blast. But for me, I'm a failure. So I did what I do best. Give me a problem and I'll give you a solution. That's when I started looking for another job. That's why I got hired at One Blood. And I was making close to 6 figures back then. I'm not afraid, dude. Give me a piece of paper, give me a pen. I'll make it happen. I'm nonstop.
Do you feel like there's any problem you couldn't find a solution to?
No, I don't think so. Especially nowadays. You got all the resources in the world. What do you need? So come up with any solution for any problem. What do you need? Information. What is there that you cannot ask ChatGPT, Google to help you find a way of fix? No, I don't think so. It's just me willing to do it, willing to pay the price.
What do you think the most significant thing you're going to do in the next month is?
I want to get at least, and this is not you saying this, I want to get at least, and I got 5 people on top of my head right now in my business, but I want them to succeed. I want them to make money, especially those single moms, those single moms that say, Pedro, I just want to be a present mom. I want to be there for my kid. So those are the people that I actually want to help. And I got them names written down and everything.
So why especially the single moms?
Because I know I was raised by a single mom, I was raised by a single mom who couldn't handle me because I was a troubled kid, and I was handed to my grandma. My older brother, 1 year apart, is epileptic, so was seizing and everything every 2 days. So my mom couldn't take care of my brother having seizures right here, and me jumping up the walls and crawling everywhere. So she handed me to my grandma. So, dude, I owe them, my grandma and my mom, and I want them to be able to take care of their kids.
Damn, dude. And then extrapolate that across all the single mothers that are going through that, right?
Yeah. That's why I do believe in our cause. Rescuing, getting licensed is not the solution. It's being able to pay the bills. One of my agents, she's my VIP agent, and she knows it. When she hears this, she knows who I'm talking about. She is from Colombia. December 2023. She go to Colombia, vacation, takes her kid. Husband stays in the US working. She goes for a couple of weeks. While in Colombia, he gave the apartment back to the association, moved out, started living with another girl. She was stranded in Colombia. Didn't have a home when she got back. She has the 2 kids, trying to survive in Colombia. Imagine you go to vacation. Now you don't have a home to come back to. He asked for a divorce while you're in Colombia. You can even come back to the US to try to work things out because you don't have a place to come back to. And on top of that, January 2024, my lovely upline decided to move to GFI. And part of the team that he took.
We talking about that fucker Matt or?
No, not Matt. No.
Okay.
Matt was never my upline. No. Matt was never my upline. My upline decides to move to GFI and called my people, which was his people too. And part of the people that he took, the team that he took, was about 35 licenses, was her team too. So now she's in Colombia, not making money, not a marriage to come back to, not a home to come back to. And she had to go through, and I tell me, you're a badass motherfucker. Because she made it back. But she's sad about it because she came back from all that. But it took her about 3 months. It's everything. Business, marriage, everything. Her kids had to go start school in Colombia and everything. So those are the people that I do this Those are the people that wake up every day. It's not ever gonna happen again because I need her to make ends meet too. It's not all about me only. I'm now. It took me about 2 years into the business to remove myself from every equation. It's not about me. It's about you making it happen. If you make it happen, I'll make it happen. It's not about Pedro. Elevate me. I want you to make it happen, and by default, I'm gonna get some out of it too. At first, it was me. And that's why we on this business see you on that side of the business. Like it's all about you. How satisfying it is when you bring someone into the business on your side, 80%, 90%. Now they're making 6 figures, 7 figures because you gave him a shot.
Yeah, I don't bring a lot of people into business anymore. I don't do the recruiting model much anymore. It's very rarely do I take an agent on because we're more focused on, we still write business, but we're more focused on the mastermind.
Yep.
But I will tell you this, I've had one of my best friends in the world at this point. Literally, I would give my life for this man. I would give my life for his wife. I'd give my life for his kids. Seriously, he's just an amazing individual. I didn't know him before this whole thing. He jumped in a few years ago. I didn't fucking know him. He jumped in and immediately was, on calls and something like, who's this new motherfucker? But he jumped in, he put in work and he was going through some struggles on his own contract. He'd been an agent actually for more than a decade at that point. But he was going through some struggles, and those struggles were like, hey, if you don't figure it out by the end of this year, you're out, you're done. And he jumped in. And dude, I have to tell you this. I thank God. Like that was one of those moments for me that was like, okay, what I'm teaching, what I'm training, the tools I'm giving people, all this stuff, it works. And it doesn't just work. It works so fucking well. If it doesn't work, I can literally give you your money back. And to this day, we had started offering 100% money back guarantee. That was the moment I was like, fuck it, 200% money back guarantee. You give me X amount of dollars, and you actually implement this. If it doesn't work, I'll give you back 2x on your investment. Either way, you win. You literally cannot lose. The only way you lose is if you don't do the work, and I can't help that.
Can help that.
And you said that earlier, like I can't force it on you, but I can give you everything that you need, right?
I give you all the tools.
Dude, that moment, I have to tell you, like I am so fucking grateful. And it's not like ooh, look at me thing. It's my God. Look at how happy your family has been and the cool things that you've been able to do the last few years. And man, we've been able to do them together. We've traveled all over together now and we've done all sorts of cool stuff. And it's the fucking coolest thing ever. It's so humbling. So you ask, those experiences for me, it looks a little different at this point. I'm not bringing people into the business in the form of like downline or part of my agency primarily. Right?
Are you helping?
They're in the mastermind and he doesn't even work with me. Like he's a whole different company. I make no overrides or anything. Did he pay for some training or whatever? Yeah. But it's like, shit. Do you know how fucking cool that is? I don't mean to railroad this. This is about you, but this is probably like 3 years ago. Somebody in our mastermind again, doesn't work underneath me or whatever. And he was right there, like had a very good career before getting an insurance, got dropped on his face, jumped in, and he jumped in with his last few dollars. His wife didn't even know he jumped in. She had already started filing for divorce and this and that and the other. And about 6 months after him being in, putting in work and whatever. No, it was about 3 months. He'd only been in about 3 months. He shot me this message. And so like you mentioned the message, you were in DC. So fucking grateful I looked at JD's messages because his message was like, hey, I don't know who to talk to, but I need to talk to somebody right now. I just got this feeling, right? I was out riding my dirt bike, actually. I was still living in Las Vegas then. And I was out riding my dirt bike in the desert south of Las Vegas. And I had stopped. I was parked up on this big hill. I had service. And I was like, I need to call JD. So called him. And he was sitting on the side of the freeway with a pistol in his lap, ready to just be done. And we had a conversation. He needed a few bucks. I owed him a few bucks, a couple $1,000s. And with the commitment of like, JD, if I do this, you can't make this dumbass decision. I've been there before. And so I know what you're feeling, but you can't do it. So this what I'm gonna send you. Like you need to call me 3 times morning, afternoon, evening, every night for the next month. And we're gonna go to work on shit. And his whole fucking life turned around. His wife didn't end up leaving him. She wasn't leaving him because she a bitch or he's like just money.
Monetary, bro. Yeah.
Fucking money, dude. It ruins lives. And within a matter of a couple months, we were able to fix that and like just all this shit. And Dude, it is the most
Satisfying.
That's what it's for. We can sit here and talk about the awards and the rings and the having some hairy knuckled fucking geriatric pat your ass as you walk across the stage and tell you good job. Yeah. They hand you a $25 trophy at conference, right? It isn't about that. It's not about some fucking moron C-suite that went to school for 16 years and sucked a dick up the corporate ladder for 40 years to be a CEO of a company and make half what you make without a bachelor's degree. It's not about that. It's about what you're talking about. It's about what I'm talking about. Like, that's the shit, man. It's so real. So I apologize. I didn't mean to railroad it, but
no, you're good. And I tell this to my agents until you feel it yourself. If I make a sale and I make what we make, $50,000, $30,000 on a sale, it feels good. Don't get me wrong. But dude, looking at paychecks and your team and you see someone else making $50,000, dude, that feels so way better. It's like, damn, I promised you. See, it happened. It happened to you. Dude, it feels so much better. Every time I see the payroll and every Tuesday and every Wednesday, I see someone in my team got paid $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, whatever, $100, $600. I tell people how much you make people working Uber, how much you make in a week here. Oh, $600, $700 a week. You know how many people, Carson, are out there killing their asses working 40, 50, 60 hours on Uber? And we can make that a freaking term policy. And they have to drive 60 hours to make $600. So, man, every time I see a paycheck, okay, not today. You're not getting evicted today. It's not going to happen today because of that investment, that license. Dude, it feels so much better. When you walk across the stage, it feels good. Don't get me wrong. But when you see someone in your team that believed in you crossing the stage, winery eyes, damn it. You didn't give up because they trusted you. It's like your kids. It's like your kids. Getting A's when you were a student feels good. When you see your kid getting an A or scoring a goal or whatever, way better than you doing it. Guarantee you. Every agent that you brought ever to your team and you try to help them and you did your best to help them and they did it. They actually fulfilled the dream and fulfilled the need that they had at the time. And they did it like your friend, way better. And you were asking me about that pivotal moment too. 2021, one of my friends from growing up had a massive stroke in Venezuela. And all our friends, we used to live in a 16-story building. I grew up in a 16-story building. And all my friends, we gather around, put a group chat, a WhatsApp group chat. Hey, we need to come up with $20,000. We need to, so they can operate and they get everything as soon as possible so it doesn't get any worse. And I look at my account, dude, I have $600. I wish I was the guy say, I got the check, use it. I didn't. But I looked at my garage and I had a motorcycle. And I remember calling my brothers, hey, my stepbrother, which is my brother too. That's why I told you I got like 25,000 brothers. So my stepbrothers are my brothers too. Say, hey, Paco, you want my bike. It's worth $7,000. Give me $3,000 is yours. And, dude, I don't have $3,000. All I got in my account is like $1,800. Done. Yeah, that's it. I'm on. Get your bike. I'll sign the papers and everything. It's yours. Give me those $1,800. Zelle me out $1,800 and I'll Zelle out $1,800. That's when I realized money is power, dude. Money is power. You help your friend. For you was a 2,000, whatever you gave him. For him, lifeline. Difference between literally killing himself and another shot in life. And 3 months later, even better, he killed it. So when people say money is bad, money changes people for the worse, it doesn't. It just highlight who you are. If you're good with money, you're going to be better. And if you're bad with money, you're going to be worse. Period. It's just highlight who you are truly inside of you. And because I know who I am, I want to make the most money, not for me, but for being able to write those checks. We don't know how blessed we are, brother.
Powerful stuff. There's been some moments. You mentioned, the moment with your aunt when you were in DC. And dude, so that's a whole nother question. We talked about kind of what was some of those pivotal moments. What was the worst moment in your whole life? Not just insurance. Ooh, your whole life.
Pain-wise, the shingles. I got the shingles pain-wise. Or what's the worst?
Okay. What hurt you more than anything's ever hurt you? Where's your deepest scar, Pedro?
Dude, to be honest, what I told you earlier, coming to the States and leaving my family, my siblings behind, to be bullied and look around and not having my older brother by me. And I didn't talk about this. Not too many people know about this, but my brother, he was at a party and he had a drink and he left it. And when he came back, they put some drugs in it. Literally killed him for 5 minutes. And he came back. And when that happened, I was here in the States. I remember walking into my sister's house because I was living with my sister at 3:30, 4 p.m. after high school. Remember vividly walking to my sister, talking on the phone when you had those phones at the wall, crying, telling me that Cesar, my brother, passed away on the phone. To I remember it vividly. And though he got so lucky that one of his friends, where's Cesar? Oh, I heard that he went out to get some cigarettes and they started looking for him. And I remember we had this wall that we used to climb to go to to the store to buy cigarettes. We had to either walk around like 2 miles or just jump over a wall. And we used to do that. And one of his friends actually said, you know what? I'm going to check that wall. And when he got on top of the wall and he looked down, my brother was just laying down, literally dead. And they tried to resuscitate him. And then they put eyes on his balls and everything, testicles to get him back. And he couldn't do it. So he was rushed into the hospital and they were able to get him back. So that was another pivotal moment in my life. And I was like, dude, I got no power. Your life done in an instant. And I was 15, 16 at the time.
You decided to live differently because of that, or what? What came out for you?
Trust out. I decided, dude, I love my family for who they are. Because my brother and I, we were so close that we were cat and dogs. But I love my family for who they are because I know it can happen in an instant, just like it happened to my brother and it happened to my aunt. I don't take any relationship for granted. There's always something to learn from everyone and love everyone for who they are. You know who forgives very quickly? Very quickly? This guy. Dude, I don't carry grudges. As long as you actually apologize, dude, 100% of the times. 100, you can do what? Dude, I mean, anything you do to me, as long as you apologize sincerely, I'll forgive you and truly forgive you. Because what's the alternative? Again, if I hate you just because you did something to me, I'm the one carrying the poison. So I just do it for my own thing. I forgive everyone. So that's what it taught me, that my brother could have left this earth and me probably be mad at him for whatever not happening again. The mother of my kids, she knows it every time. Every time we talk, we're talking, we're going back and forth. I'm sorry for everything that I did to you. Because you never know, Carson, you never know when it's the last message. There's someone out there that Carson texted for the last time and you never texted. You could never text it again. Dude, my mom did horrible shit a couple of years ago. Horrible. So horrible that I still got part of my brother and my sister, my older sister, they don't talk to my mom. And out, not talking to you ever again. And I was like that for like 6 months until I said, you know what? Fuck it, dude. That's for the good or the bad, that's my mom. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me too. You did your best. I truly, 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 truly believe that people are not meant to hurt you. They just don't know the difference. No one's out to get Carson. No one's out to get Pedro. My dad did the best job he could do, the good and the bad. My mom, same thing. They did the best job they knew how to do. So who am I now? I didn't know how was their lives growing up. Now I'm going to judge them because they did things from their perspective. Who am I to judge now? So when Carson hurts me, I might be mad at Carson for a couple of hours. But then I try to think, okay, why does Carson think that way? Why is he saying those things? It's not because he wants to hurt me. He feels hurt and he's attacking. That's why you said you're controversial. Yes, very. Yeah, I'm gonna speak my mind every day. So I don't know when's the last day that I won't be able to speak my mind. Like me or hate me, I don't care. So I don't know when I'm not gonna be able to do it. And those are the moments that I've realized that, dude, life is so fragile. It's so easy to be here now and not be here the next moment. Dude, my aunt, she was having a stomach ache in an hour, and the next hour, gone. And I got a couple of stories like that, dude. And I'm like talking to you now, and 2 hours later, I get a call. Cannot talk to you ever again. I'm not gonna be that. I'm not. There's so much shit that I want to talk to Carson from here until we die.
Oh, we're gonna talk shit.
I know. You think I'm gonna jeopardize that because you say something that is not against me? It's against my beliefs, which is okay. You grew up differently than me. Whatever you think is good for you is that's why I was talking to Chris Money the other day. Dude, I see you. I see your aisle. But do you see me? I see your aisle by tremendous difference. I see you, brother. Do you see me? Why are we fighting about this? Go help people. I believe in the love of abundance. It's enough for everyone. So I'm not gonna stop talking to Carson, to Money Dad, and to Jonathan every now and then, even though he's an asshole. But because you never know, motherfucker. You never know when you're probably someone shoots you, literally, and the only person there to help is motherfucking Jonathan. Or the other way around. So I don't hate on people, brother. I truly don't. You can ask anyone. I truly don't hate on people.
If, God forbid, if we got off this call and, you decide to head down to the store and pick up a little snack and whatever, and midget walks out in front of you, or I'm sorry, a small person, or I don't know what the fuck they want to be called. If they want to be offended, they can be fucking offended. I don't care. Somebody who's shorter than per you could be a child. I don't know. You slam on the brakes. You don't hit them. This isn't about them. Yeah. Fuck. People out here getting offended, Pedro.
Yeah.
You slam on the brakes, but you weren't wearing your seatbelt. You go through the windshield, right? Face on the asphalt. Just peels your skin back. You stand up. You get in the car. You drive yourself to the hospital. They take care of you. You're fine. Week later, you walk out of the hospital, struck by fucking lightning. You're dead. That's a hell of a way to go. If this was the last moment, the last opportunity you ever had to share value with the world, what would you want the world to remember you for? If there was a single phrase, a single thought, a single concept that was like, that's what Pedro believed. That's what Pedro said. It better not be about IUL, motherfucker.
Yeah, IUL is the best product in the world. No.
What would that thing be? What, like, if this was the last chance you had to give value before you didn't have a breath to give, what would you want to breathe your breath on?
While I'm alive, I want you to know that you can count on me, dude. I'll be that call at 3 a.m. I gotta walk freaking 7 miles to come pick you up. I'll be that. I want you to know that I'm that call. That's why I hate on people that put the phones in do not disturb at night. Dude, I want to be that call because I've been in that moment that I need someone to answer freaking call at 3 a.m. I tell my kids, no matter what, we have a rule with me and my kids. Come pick me up. If they type and any text message, come pick me up, I tell them, that are code words. If you type that, Papi will come and pick you up. Don't ask where were you, how you got there, where you with. I understand that if you type those words, you want Papi to rescue you without asking questions. You want me to be your driver, Carson. If you ever need in Florida, to drive all fucking Idaho, kind of hard, and it's not going to be fast, and you type Pedro, come pick me up and send me your location, I'll be there. No question asked. That's me.
Papi, if that happens, it's going to be in Florida. Because y'all are some salty motherfuckers.
Do you know what's scary, brother? You remember 2019, I think it was, 2018, Parkland mass shooting. And the Parkland High School mass shooting. It was really bad. I remember I was at a blood bank. I was working at a blood bank. So right after that, we were doing a lot of blood drives because of those mass shootings. But the day after Parkland happened, I was at the airport doing a blood drive, airlines and everything. And I remember get a text message and then a call from the school that my kids are in, elementary school, that there's a suspicious envelope in the school. Dude, I left everything. I got my car at a 6-speed manual shift Nissan. From the airport to the school, it's about 10 miles. 160 miles per hour. Cops follow me. I'm not stopping. I'm a savior. When I did my therapy, I found out that I'm a savior. I'm the guy who's willing to give his life for his close ones. Not hesitation. Up until today, you ask me, I got a few people that I would give my life for. One of them, mother and my kids. Forever. So I know my kids will ever need their mom more than would need me, for sure. My now soon-to-be wife, my family, my brothers, without a hesitation, without a blinking. And my true friends. So if you ask me what would be that things, I want people to know for sure, really know that they can count on me.
Some heavy stuff, brother.
That's me, brother.
Damn. I used to be that guy. My phone would go off at 3 a.m. and it's like, man, I drove my truck into the lake and I'm like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. I got to be at work at 5. Fuck it. I'll be there. I'd crawl out of bed. I'll be honest, because I'm the guy now that like my shit's on do not disturb. It's been that way for years. It got abused. It got to the point where it was like just anybody needed anything, but they were never, it wasn't that I needed quid pro quo, right?
There was no reciprocity.
Yeah, there was like, I could be like, hey, wife's out of town, Camille's out of town, and I don't want to hang out with myself this weekend. And they're like, well, I don't have time for you. I'm like, for fucking what? And that dude, I got very cynical and just burned out, and I put my phone on do not disturb. And bro, you know this. You've tried to call. My phone has not come off of do not disturb in 7-8 years. Like there's a few people that ring through, my wife, my parents.
His favorite ones.
Yeah, and a couple people. The folks that are in inner circle in our mastermind, I made the commitment to them about a year ago. We were having a conversation. I was like, you know what? I'll commit to y'all. Y'all are committing to me. I'll commit to y'all. And I put them all on ring through, but literally everybody else, man. I haven't regretted it, but there are times, Pedro, that I miss being the person people could call, if that makes sense. I
feel like shit.
I'm not the person I'm the person a few specific people can call for sure. But man, I feel like the pendulum swings, right? And I was too far one way and now I've come too far back the other way. And I need to find that happy place in the middle. I don't know. Does that make sense at all?
100%. 100%. But again, this is my favorite word. The alternative is I don't want to be that guy. I don't want you to think of me not being the do not disturb the D&D guy, because damn it, the moment I put in D&D, I know something's going to happen. My grandma passed away and I was on a freaking, when I found out that my grandma passed away, I was in a club, no signal. And I remember going out for smoke and I get 20 messages all of a sudden. Voicemail, text message, voicemail. When that happened, when you don't have signal and then you go back to signal, then you get text message and calls and everything. And then I remember being at this club and my sister calls me, hey, where are you? I said, I'm here in so-and-so place. Grandma's in the hospital. You gotta come here. I don't think she's gonna make it. Dude, this place was freaking Manhattan, New York. Most of the time, full of cabs. All you needed to do is just throw a freaking quarter up in the air. You're gonna land on a cab. That night, no cabs. And I remember fucking calling my friends, see if they can pick me up and take me to the hospital and everything. No one answered the phone. My uncle calls me. I call my uncle like 5 minutes later. Where are you? I'm in the hospital. Where are you? I'm trying to get there, but there's no cabs. He said, well, send me the location. Where are you exactly? And I'll come pick you up. And I remember waiting on my uncle, and I see him. He had a Grand Cherokee. And I see him coming like 2 blocks away, speeding. And then he stops and then takes off again, screeched and everything. And then crying, bawling. When he stopped, he got the call. And my grandma passed away. That's why I'm scared not being able to get a call when someone needs it. I got a scar. So you'll never get me on do not, because you never know, motherfucker. You never know when the only phone that they can remember is your phone number, Carson.
That's some shit. That's some heavy shit. What if you were the last call somebody ever made and you couldn't be bothered to pick up?
Because somebody else messed up in the past and overused you. Let them deal with that. Let deal with that. Kid, I was 7 years old in Venezuela. When an ambulance comes, most of the times you don't know if the ambulance is actually carrying a body in the back or they're just trying to get through traffic, because that's how assholes they are. And I remember one day I asked my mom. I was 78 years old. I remember I asked my mom, and I say, Mom, when I start driving, I don't think I'm gonna let the ambulance pass, because I know they're all lying. They're just trying to cut traffic or through traffic. My mom turns back and said, ever say that again, because 99% of the times they're lying and you're probably right. But there's going to be one time when it's not right, when they're actually not lying. And that's worth more than the other 99 times that they're lying. And that for me, it's forever, for everything. You're an asshole with me. You overuse me. You call me at 3 a.m. You're drunk. And I'm that guy that you just want to talk when you're drunk. It's fine. I'll just, this motherfucker's drunk. I can hang out. But what if that's the one call that you're in Florida, you're in Miami, something happens to you, and all you remember, I remember this motherfucking Pedro is sitting in Miami on that call, and I'm your one last call. Carson, for sure, you're going to make a call at 3 a.m. Whatever, brother. At least answer. I would at least answer.
Heavy shit, brother. I appreciate you teaching me, setting the example.
If I never know. You never know, brother. That's why I tech. But
before we wrap up today, I want to make sure folks know if they listen in, they want to get in touch with you. They want to call you at 3 a.m. Maybe they want to come join your team. Maybe they want to buy some insurance off of you or anything else in between. You know, where do they get a hold of Pedro? Where can they find you? Where can they, come listen to you if they want to get on your trainings or where are you at, man?
Social media, first name, Pedro Villarroel, just like in the tag, with a K at the end, which is Francani, my Jewish last name, at all across social media. And my phone number, I know we're entitled to put phone numbers, but just put it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments. You can text me, and we'll see if what I do matches what you want to do. And if it does, if a good fit for both of us, let's make it happen.
Damn it. What do you want to wrap up with? This is your show at this point. We got a few minutes left.
Thank you, Carson.
Few moments left. And anything you want to say, you can say thank you, Carson, or fuck you to somebody else, or we could pray together. We could whatever you want to sing, whatever you want to do.
Let's bring up the energy. No, dude, let's continue the good fight. The fight is not against any product. The fight is against the uninsured. That's our fight. Do it your way. I'll do it my way. You'll never see me. I will probably never see you the way, or I'll see you, but you'll never see me. That's fine. Do it your own way. But get people insured. Get some freaking people insured. That's a fight. The fight is not against product. If you want to keep that fight, just do it. If you want to continue to fight Art Williams' fight, on you. My fight is again, I'll take any products. I never know. I will never say no to anyone that needs any of the products that we provide. If you want a whole life, I got you. If you want IUL, I got you. If you want term policy, I got you. If you any product that is good for you, is a good fit for you. Because at the end of the day, Carson, what's the best policy ever?
The one you need, one you can afford.
And the one in place when you pass away. That's the best life insurance you can get. It's the one that's going to be enforced when you need it.
Dude, that's it. I tell folks that all the time. Like, people don't care if it's a term or a whole life or an IUL or this or that or the other. When the shit hits the fan, what do they care about? They care about, did the check come that was supposed to come? Was it for the right amount? Did it clear the bank? They don't care about the fucking company. They don't care about the type of policy. They don't care about any of that. Was the check there on time? Was it for the right amount? Did it actually clear the bank? That's all they care about.
That is absolutely it. And I'm bilingual, so if you need help in Spanish and Portuguese too, I can help you too.
Bilingual, but not bisexual.
No, not bisexual, even though people think that I am, I'm not. And let me tell you why. There's an inside joke in Venezuela. Where I'm from, there's a lot of gay people. There's a lot. It's the gay capital of Venezuela. So when I say that I'm from Valencia, I know who you are now. Oh, Pedro. No. Yeah. No, I love it as it is. But it was a good talk, Carson.
Dude, I appreciate you being here, brother. For real. I know it's a long recording session, but it's cool the stuff that comes out when we take the time to let it, you know?
Yep. To get to know the people.
That's it, man. And that's what it's about. It's about the people. Yep. So, brother, I appreciate you very much. Let me know if we can do anything. I will, we'll have this up probably, I'm not sure where you're at in the queue, but sometime in the next few weeks here, I would imagine. So I'll keep you posted when this hits.
Perfect. All right, brother. Thank you for your time. Thank you for making this happen.
Dude, appreciate you, man. We'll see you later. Have a great evening.